Media algorithms helped amplify their reach. By the early 2020s, the manosphere had already become a major online force. Some creators gained millions of followers. Others built businesses selling courses, coaching programs, and membership communities. For many influencers, the movement became extremely profitable. But with popularity also came controversy. Many critics argued that the manosphere was not just giving advice, but actively encouraging hostility toward women. Some influencers were accused of spreading extreme views about gender roles and relationships. Others were criticized for turning personal insecurity into a business model. This growing controversy is what attracted Louis Theroux to the story. Throughout his career, Theroux has always been interested in communities that exist on the edges of mainstream society. Instead of simply criticizing them, he prefers to understand them. He talks to people. He listens to their stories. And he allows viewers to see how these communities operate from the inside. That same approach defines this documentary. Rather than presenting the manosphere as simply good or bad, Theroux spends time inside the movement. He meets the influencers. He observes their content creation process. And he attends events where followers gather to hear their advice. One of the most interesting aspects of the film is how calmly Theroux approaches these conversations. He does not attack the influencers. He does not argue aggressively. Instead, he asks thoughtful questions and allows the subjects to explain their own beliefs. This interview style often leads to unexpected moments. Some influencers appear confident and charismatic at first. But when asked deeper questions, their arguments sometimes begin to unravel. Other influencers openly admit that controversy helps them grow their audience. The more shocking their content becomes, the more attention they receive online. This is where social media algorithms play an important role. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok reward engagement. Content that generates strong reactions often spreads faster. As a result, creators who make controversial statements can gain massive exposure. This creates a cycle. More controversy leads to more views. More views lead to more followers. And more followers lead to more money. Louis Theroux begins to realize that the manosphere is not just a cultural movement. It is also an entertainment industry. Many influencers operate like digital entrepreneurs. They produce podcasts, live streams, online courses, and subscription communities. Some even organize events where fans can meet them in person. For followers, these influencers often appear as mentors. They promise guidance on how to become more confident, more successful, and more attractive. But the documentary begins asking an important question. Are these influencers truly helping their audiences? Or are they simply selling a powerful illusion? As Theroux dives deeper into this world, he begins meeting some of the biggest personalities inside the manosphere. These are creators who have built huge online audiences by discussing controversial ideas about masculinity, relationships, and power. Their platforms attract millions of viewers every month. Their podcasts regularly trend on social media. And their influence is shaping how an entire generation of young men thinks about dating and success. But behind the cameras, the reality of this world may be far more complicated than it appears online. And that is where the real story of the documentary begins. Because once Louis Theroux steps inside the manosphere, he discovers that the movement is not just about advice, masculinity, or relationships. It is also about fame, money, power, and the massive influence that social media can create in the modern world. In the next part of this story, we will explore the most powerful influencers inside the manosphere and the online empire they have built. Because the rise of this movement is not just a cultural story. It is also the story of how internet personalities turned controversial ideas into one of the fastest-growing industries on social media. The name Louis Theroux has become one of the most recognizable names in modern documentary filmmaking. For more than 3 decades, he has built a reputation for exploring unusual communities, controversial movements, and the hidden corners of society that most journalists rarely enter. Unlike many traditional reporters, Theroux uses a calm and curious interview style. Instead of confronting people aggressively, he prefers to listen carefully, ask thoughtful questions, and allow his subjects to explain their beliefs in their own words. This approach has allowed him to enter worlds that would normally be closed to outsiders. Over the years, Louis Theroux has created documentaries about extremist political groups, religious cults, underground entertainment industries, and even strange celebrity subcultures. His goal has always been the same: to understand why people believe what they believe and how these communities operate from the inside. In 2026, Theroux returned with a new documentary that quickly attracted global attention. The film is titled Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere, and it investigates one of the fastest-growing and most controversial online movements of the modern internet era. The documentary focuses on a digital ecosystem known as the Manosphere. Over the past decade, this online movement has grown rapidly across platforms like YouTube, podcasts, streaming channels, and social media networks. The Manosphere is not a single organization or a structured group. Instead, it is a network of influencers, content creators, podcasts, and online communities that discuss topics related to masculinity, dating, relationships, power dynamics, and modern gender roles. Many of these creators present themselves as mentors for young men who feel confused or frustrated about modern life. Their content promises guidance about how to become more confident, more successful, and more attractive in relationships. Supporters of the Manosphere argue that these communities are simply encouraging men to improve themselves. They claim the movement focuses on discipline, financial independence, physical fitness, and personal responsibility. However, critics strongly disagree with that interpretation. Many experts and social commentators argue that some parts of the Manosphere promote harmful ideas about women and relationships. Critics claim that certain influencers encourage resentment toward women, spread extreme views about gender roles, and oversimplify complex social problems. This debate has made the Manosphere one of the most controversial topics on the internet. Millions of people follow these influencers every day. At the same time, millions of others believe the movement is dangerous. The question that fascinated Louis Theroux was simple but important. Why has the Manosphere become so popular? Why are millions of young men turning to these influencers for advice? And what is really happening behind the scenes of this powerful online culture? To answer these questions, Theroux decided to go directly to the source. Instead of studying the movement from a distance, he traveled to meet the influencers who are shaping it. Throughout the documentary, he visits different cities where many of these creators operate. Several interviews take place in locations across the United States, including Miami, which has become one of the main hubs for Manosphere podcast creators. These interviews reveal how the movement actually functions. Many of the most influential Manosphere personalities operate large podcast studios where they host discussions about dating, success, and modern relationships. These podcasts often invite guests, debate controversial topics, and interact directly with audiences through live streaming platforms. The format is designed to generate attention. Debates about relationships often become heated. Guests challenge each other's beliefs, and controversial opinions frequently go viral across social media platforms. This viral attention plays a major role in the growth of the Manosphere. Social media algorithms tend to promote content that generates strong reactions. Videos that spark arguments, shock viewers, or create emotional responses often receive more engagement. As a result, some creators intentionally push controversial ideas because they know it will bring more views. The more attention a creator receives, the more followers they gain. And in the modern creator economy, followers can quickly turn into money. Many Manosphere influencers earn revenue through multiple sources. These include advertising, sponsorship deals, online courses, private coaching programs, subscription communities, and merchandise sales. Some influencers charge hundreds or even thousands of dollars for mentorship programs where followers can receive personal advice about business relationships or self-improvement. This financial structure has turned parts of the Manosphere into a very profitable industry. In some cases, influencers present themselves not only as relationship experts, but also as lifestyle entrepreneurs. They display luxury cars, expensive homes, and high-end lifestyles as proof that their advice works. For viewers watching online, this image can be very persuasive. Young men who feel uncertain about their future may see these influencers as successful role models who have discovered the secrets to wealth, confidence, and power. But the documentary slowly begins to question whether this image reflects reality. Louis Theroux's interviews reveal that the public persona of many influencers is carefully constructed for the internet. Their podcasts are designed to be entertaining. Their arguments are designed to create viral clips. And their personalities are often exaggerated for maximum attention. At times, Thuru's calm questions reveal contradictions in the beliefs being promoted. Some influencers claim to represent traditional masculinity, yet their careers depend entirely on modern social media fame. Others criticize modern dating culture, while simultaneously building businesses that rely on discussing dating problems every day. These contradictions create some of the most revealing moments in the documentary. Another key theme explored in the film is the emotional appeal of the manosphere. For many followers, these communities provide something that is difficult to find elsewhere: a sense of belonging. Young men who feel isolated or confused about relationships may find comfort in communities that promise simple answers. Influencers often frame complex social issues in very clear and direct terms. They identify specific problems. They blame specific causes. And they offer specific solutions. This kind of messaging can be extremely powerful, especially for audiences searching for guidance. But the documentary also suggests that these simple answers may ignore the deeper realities of modern life. Issues like loneliness, economic pressure, changing gender expectations, and social media culture are far more complicated than any single influencer can fully explain. By entering the world of the manosphere, Louis Theroux attempts to understand both sides of this debate. He listens to the influencers who believe they are helping men improve their lives. He also observes the criticism coming from journalists, researchers, and cultural experts who worry about the movement's long-term impact. What makes the documentary especially compelling is Theroux's willingness to remain patient during these conversations. Instead of attacking the people he interviews, he allows their own words to reveal their beliefs, motivations, and sometimes their contradictions. This method has always been one of Theroux's greatest strengths as a filmmaker. And in this documentary, it allows viewers to see the manosphere from a rare, inside perspective. But as the story continues, it becomes clear that the movement is much larger and more complex than most people realize. The influencers at the center of the manosphere are not just internet personalities. Many of them have built entire media empires based on controversial discussions about masculinity, dating, and power. Their podcasts reach millions of viewers. Their videos spread across social media platforms within hours. And their influence is shaping how an entire generation of young men thinks about relationships and success. As Louis Theroux continues his investigation, he begins meeting some of the biggest personalities inside this digital world. Each influencer has their own style, their own message, and their own loyal audience. Some present themselves as motivational coaches. Others act like controversial debate hosts. And a few openly embrace the role of internet provocateurs who thrive on public outrage. But behind their confident online personas, Theroux begins to uncover a deeper story about fame, money, and the powerful business model that fuels the modern manosphere. And that is where the next chapter of this documentary begins. In the next part, we will explore the most influential figures inside the manosphere and how they built massive online followings that turned controversial opinions into viral internet empires. After entering the world of the manosphere, Louis Theroux quickly realized that this movement is not controlled by a single leader or organization. Instead, it is driven by a group of powerful internet personalities who have built massive audiences through podcasts, YouTube channels, and social media platforms. These creators are the central figures of the modern manosphere. Their opinions, debates, and controversial statements shape how millions of viewers think about masculinity, dating, success, and power. One of the first things Theroux discovers is that the manosphere operates like a digital media industry. Many influencers run professional studios, produce high-quality podcasts, and upload content almost every day. Their shows often feature debates about relationships, discussions about wealth and success, and arguments about modern gender roles. These podcasts attract huge audiences. Some episodes receive millions of views within a few days. Short clips from these shows then spread across social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X, reaching an even larger audience. A key figure featured in the documentary is Harrison Sullivan, better known online as HS Tiki Talkie. He became famous through viral videos and controversial commentary about masculinity and relationships. Sullivan represents a new generation of internet influencers who understand how to use social media algorithms to their advantage. His videos are often short, direct, and highly provocative. The goal is simple: create a reaction strong enough that people feel compelled to share the clip. This strategy has helped him gain a large following online. Supporters see him as someone who speaks honestly about issues that mainstream media avoids. Critics argue that his content oversimplifies complex problems and encourages hostile attitudes toward women. Another personality connected to the manosphere world is Sneako. Sneako originally became popular as a YouTube creator discussing culture and personal development. Over time, however, his content shifted toward controversial debates about gender roles, relationships, and social power. In the documentary, Thuru examines how creators like Sneako transformed their personal brands into large online businesses. Their channels are not just platforms for discussion. They are also marketing tools that promote merchandise, exclusive communities, and paid mentorship programs. One of the most important figures in this ecosystem is Myron Gaines. Gaines is known as the co-host of the famous Fresh and Fit podcast, a show that regularly features debates between male hosts and female guests about dating expectations, relationships, and social dynamics. The format of the podcast is designed to create intense discussions. Guests often disagree strongly with the hosts, leading to heated debates that generate viral clips. These moments spread rapidly across social media, bringing even more attention to the show. Thuru observes that controversy plays a major role in the growth of these podcasts. When arguments become emotional or shocking, the clips attract millions of views. This attention then converts into new followers and subscribers. Another influencer connected to this online world is Justin Waller. Waller presents himself as a businessman and motivational speaker who encourages men to focus on financial success and personal discipline. His message is slightly different from some other manosphere personalities. Instead of focusing mainly on relationships, Waller emphasizes business development, entrepreneurship, and building wealth. However, his content still overlaps with many of the same themes about masculinity and social status. What connects all of these influencers is their ability to create strong personal brands. Each one has a distinct personality and style that appeals to a specific audience. Some position themselves as mentors who guide young men toward success. Others act as controversial debaters who challenge mainstream social ideas. And some deliberately provoke outrage because they know controversy generates attention. Thuru becomes increasingly interested in how these personalities use the internet to build influence. Unlike traditional celebrities, manosphere creators often interact directly with their audiences. They respond to comments, host live streams, and create private communities where followers can communicate with them more personally. These communities are an important part of the business model. Many influencers offer paid memberships where followers receive exclusive content, private chats, or personal advice. These programs can cost anywhere from a few dollars per month to thousands of dollars for one-on-one mentorship. For loyal fans, joining these communities creates a sense of belonging. Followers feel like they are part of an exclusive group that understands the truth about modern society. However, critics argue that this system can also be manipulative. Some believe influencers are turning emotional insecurity into a profitable business model. Louis Theroux approaches these questions carefully. Rather than accusing the influencers directly, he asks them to explain their perspective. Many of them insist they are simply helping men improve their lives. They argue that modern society often ignores male struggles, leaving many young men feeling lost or invisible. According to them, the manosphere exists because mainstream institutions have failed to provide guidance for men. This explanation resonates with many viewers. Over the past decade, discussions about mental health education and employment have revealed that many young men feel uncertain about their role in modern society. Changes in dating culture, social expectations, and economic pressure have created new challenges that previous generations did not experience in the same way. For some audiences, manosphere influencers appear to offer clarity in a confusing world. They provide simple advice about confidence, fitness, financial independence, and personal discipline. But the documentary also raises another possibility. What if the success of these influencers is not just about helping people? What if controversy itself is the real product being sold? Thuru begins noticing a pattern during his interviews. The more extreme a statement becomes, the more attention it receives online. Even critics who strongly disagree with the influencers often share their clips in order to criticize them. Ironically, this criticism can make the influencers even more famous. This cycle creates a powerful feedback loop. Controversial opinions generate attention. Attention generates views. Views generate money and influence. As a result, the manosphere becomes not only a cultural movement, but also a highly effective digital marketing system. The documentary shows that some influencers are fully aware of this dynamic. They openly admit that controversy helps them grow their platforms. In many ways, the manosphere represents a new type of internet celebrity culture. Influencers are not simply entertainers or commentators. They are entrepreneurs who understand how attention works in the digital age. Their success depends on staying visible, staying controversial, and constantly producing content that keeps audiences engaged. As Louis Theroux continues his investigation, he begins to see that the manosphere is much more organized and strategic than many people realize. Behind the viral clips and heated debates lies a sophisticated system of branding, monetization, and audience building. And the deeper he explores this world, the more complex the story becomes. Because while these influencers present themselves as confident leaders, Theroux begins to discover that their public image may hide a far more complicated reality. In the next part of the documentary, the investigation moves deeper into the personal lives, motivations, and contradictions of the influencers who dominate the manosphere. And what Theroux discovers behind the cameras may reveal a completely different side of this controversial internet movement. As Louis Theroux continues exploring the world of the manosphere, one thing becomes very clear. This movement is not just a loose group of online personalities sharing opinions. It has evolved into a powerful internet industry driven by attention, controversy, and massive audiences. At the center of this industry are social media platforms. Websites like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and streaming platforms have created an environment where individual creators can reach millions of people without traditional media companies. In the past, television networks and newspapers controlled what content the public saw. But today, a single influencer with a camera and microphone can build a global audience. The manosphere took advantage of this transformation earlier than many other online communities. Influencers discovered that discussions about relationships, masculinity, and gender roles attract extremely strong reactions from viewers. These topics often create emotional debates, arguments, and viral moments that spread quickly across social media. This type of engagement is exactly what social media algorithms reward. When a video generates thousands of comments and shares, the platform's algorithm assumes the content is interesting. As a result, the video is recommended to more viewers. This creates a chain reaction where controversial content spreads faster and reaches a much larger audience. Many manosphere creators understand this system very well. Their podcasts and videos are carefully designed to produce viral moments. Long discussions are recorded for hours, but short clips containing the most controversial statements are later posted on social media. These clips often include arguments, emotional reactions, or shocking opinions. Once posted online, the clips begin circulating across the internet. Supporters share them because they agree with the message. Critics share them because they want to challenge or criticize the ideas. But in both cases, the result is the same: more attention for the creator. One of the personalities connected to this online ecosystem is Sneako, who became known for creating highly controversial commentary videos. Over time, his content evolved into longer discussions about culture, politics, and gender dynamics. Creators like Sneako demonstrate how the manosphere expanded beyond simple dating advice. What began as discussions about relationships slowly transformed into larger debates about society, culture, and power. Another important figure in this ecosystem is Myron Gaines, whose podcast regularly hosts intense debates between male hosts and female guests. These conversations often become emotional and confrontational, which makes them perfect for viral content. Short clips from these debates can spread across multiple platforms within hours. Millions of people watch them. Thousands argue about them in comment sections. And the controversy pushes the podcast even further into public attention. From a business perspective, this system is extremely effective. Every viral clip brings new viewers to the channel. New viewers become subscribers. Subscribers become customers for merchandise courses and paid communities. Some influencers even create premium programs where followers pay for exclusive advice about dating, business, or lifestyle improvement. In many cases, these programs promise to teach men how to become more confident, financially successful, and socially powerful. The prices can vary widely. Some online courses cost around $50 or $100, but private mentorship programs can cost thousands of dollars. For loyal followers who believe strongly in the influencer's message, these programs appear to be valuable investments in their future. However, critics argue that this system raises serious ethical questions. Some experts believe that certain influencers exaggerate problems in modern relationships in order to sell solutions. By constantly emphasizing how difficult dating has become, they create a sense of urgency among their audience. Then they offer paid programs that promise to solve these problems. Louis Theroux observes this pattern during several interviews. He notices how often conversations shift from discussing social issues to promoting personal brands. Some influencers proudly display luxury cars, expensive watches, and large homes in their videos. These images are meant to demonstrate success and reinforce the idea that their advice leads to financial and social power. For viewers watching online, this lifestyle can appear extremely attractive. Young men who feel uncertain about their future may see these influencers as proof that success is achievable. But the documentary also suggests that this image may be carefully constructed. Social media allows creators to present only the most glamorous parts of their lives. Cameras show luxury apartments and expensive vacations, but they rarely show the struggles or failures behind the scenes. This selective presentation creates a powerful illusion. Followers begin associating the influencer's message with wealth, confidence, and status. Over time, the influencer becomes more than just a content creator. He becomes a symbol of the lifestyle that followers hope to achieve. Another major factor behind the growth of the manosphere is collaboration between creators. Influencers frequently appear on each other's podcasts, share audiences, and promote each other's content. This network effect allows the entire ecosystem to grow rapidly. When one creator goes viral, the attention often spreads to others connected within the same network. This collaboration has helped turn the manosphere into a massive online community. Millions of viewers watch these discussions regularly. Entire forums and private groups have formed where followers debate the ideas promoted by their favorite influencers. In some cases, these communities become deeply loyal. Followers defend their favorite creators against critics and actively promote their content across the internet. Louis Theroux begins to realize that the manosphere is not simply about individual personalities. It is about an entire digital culture built around attention and identity. For many followers, these communities provide a sense of belonging that they struggle to find elsewhere. Online discussions allow them to share experiences about relationships, career struggles, and social pressure. But at the same time, this environment can also reinforce extreme views. When communities consist mostly of people who already share similar opinions, opposing perspectives may be dismissed or ignored. This can gradually push discussions toward more radical positions. Some critics believe this is exactly what has happened in parts of the manosphere. Ideas that once existed only on small internet forums have now reached millions of viewers. And because controversial content spreads quickly, the most extreme voices sometimes receive the most attention. Louis Theroux's documentary does not attempt to provide simple answers about whether the manosphere is entirely good or entirely harmful. Instead, it shows how complex the movement has become. On one side, many followers genuinely believe the influencers are helping men improve their lives. On the other side, critics warn that some creators may be exploiting insecurity for profit and influence. As Theroux continues speaking with influencers and observing their communities, he begins to notice another interesting pattern. Many of the personalities who appear extremely confident online reveal moments of uncertainty during private conversations. Behind the camera, the world of the manosphere may be far less simple than it appears on social media. And in the next part of the story, Louis Theroux begins exploring the personal motivations and hidden contradictions of the influencers who dominate this controversial online movement. As the investigation continues, Louis Theroux begins to look beyond the public image of manosphere influencers. Online, these personalities often appear extremely confident, successful, and certain about their beliefs. Their videos show luxury lifestyles, expensive cars, and bold opinions about relationships and masculinity. But Theroux's interviews begin to reveal that the reality behind the camera is often more complicated. Many influencers admit that their online persona is partly a performance. Social media rewards strong personalities and dramatic statements. As a result, creators sometimes exaggerate their opinions to attract more attention. This does not necessarily mean they are lying, but it does mean the version of themselves presented online may be carefully crafted for entertainment and engagement. Theroux notices that when the cameras stop recording and the conversation becomes more personal, some influencers speak very differently. Their tone becomes calmer. Their opinions become more nuanced. And occasionally, they even acknowledge that their online debates are partly designed for show. This discovery raises an important question. If the public persona is partly performance, how much of the message being promoted online is genuine belief, and how much is simply entertainment designed to attract views? Another major focus of the documentary is the audience itself. The success of the manosphere cannot be explained without understanding the millions of viewers who watch this content every day. Many of these viewers are young men between the ages of 18 and 35. They come from different countries' backgrounds and economic situations, but they often share similar feelings about modern life. Some feel confused about dating and relationships. Others feel frustrated by career challenges or financial pressure. Many feel isolated and disconnected from traditional communities. In earlier generations, guidance about masculinity often came from family, local communities, or cultural traditions. Today, many young men turn to the internet instead. Online influencers have filled this gap. They present themselves as mentors who understand the struggles of modern men and offer practical advice about confidence, discipline, and success. For viewers searching for direction, this message can feel empowering. But critics worry that the advice sometimes simplifies complex social issues into overly aggressive or divisive narratives. As Louis Theroux continues exploring this digital world, he begins to understand that controversy is one of the most powerful engines behind the growth of the manosphere. In traditional media, controversy can damage reputations. On social media, however, controversy often increases visibility. When a podcast host makes a shocking statement about relationships or gender roles, viewers immediately react. Some agree strongly. Others become angry and criticize the opinion. But regardless of whether the reaction is positive or negative, the result is the same: engagement. Comments increase. Shares increase. Debates explode across social media platforms. Algorithms detect this surge of activity and begin recommending the video to more viewers. Within hours, a single controversial clip can reach millions of people. This cycle allows influencers to grow extremely quickly. In some cases, creators gain hundreds of thousands of followers after just one viral moment. The documentary also examines how manosphere influencers convert online attention into money. Many creators run their platforms like full media companies. Their income streams often include advertising revenue, sponsorship deals, merchandise sales, and subscription-based communities. Some influencers offer paid mentorship programs where followers can receive personal advice about business, relationships, or lifestyle improvement. These programs can range from simple online courses costing a few $100s to exclusive coaching packages that cost thousands. Supporters argue that these programs provide real value and motivation for men who want to improve their lives. Critics, however, argue that some influencers are selling unrealistic promises. They claim the marketing behind these programs often focuses heavily on wealth, power, and luxury lifestyles to attract customers. The documentary carefully presents both perspectives allowing viewers to decide for themselves. As the manosphere has grown, it has also attracted intense criticism from journalists, researchers, and social commentators. Many critics argue that certain influencers promote harmful stereotypes about women and relationships. Others worry that the movement encourages hostility between genders rather than healthy communication. Some governments and social media platforms have also begun monitoring controversial creators more closely. Several influencers have faced bans, suspensions, or content restrictions for violating platform policies. Despite these challenges, the movement continues to grow. In some cases, criticism actually increases the popularity of certain influencers. Being labeled controversial or censored can strengthen their appeal among followers who already distrust mainstream institutions. This dynamic creates a constant cycle of debate between supporters and critics. One of the most important insights from the documentary is the psychological appeal of manosphere communities. Many followers are not simply looking for dating advice. They are searching for identity, confidence, and belonging. The influencers they follow provide clear narratives about success and personal power. These narratives can be very attractive in a world where many young people feel uncertain about their future. By offering simple explanations and clear rules for success, manosphere creators give their audience a sense of control. However, the documentary also suggests that real life is far more complex than these simplified messages. Success, relationships, and personal fulfillment depend on many factors that cannot be reduced to a few online rules. By the end of the film, Louis Theroux does not present a simple conclusion about the manosphere. Instead, the documentary reveals a complicated cultural phenomenon shaped by technology, economics, and changing social expectations. On one hand, many influencers genuinely believe they are helping men improve their lives. On the other hand, the internet rewards controversy and extreme opinions, which can push creators toward more dramatic and polarizing content. The manosphere therefore becomes both a support network and an entertainment industry. It offers guidance for some viewers, while simultaneously generating profits through attention and debate. The most important message of the documentary may be that the manosphere is not simply about individual influencers. It is about the modern internet itself. Social media has created a world where ideas can spread instantly, personalities can become global celebrities overnight, and controversial discussions can shape cultural debates across entire generations. As long as these platforms continue rewarding attention and engagement, movements like the manosphere will likely remain a powerful force in online culture. And that is exactly why documentaries like Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere, are important. They help audiences step back from the noise of viral clips and online arguments to examine what is really happening beneath the surface of the digital world. As Louis Theroux continues his investigation, one major factor becomes impossible to ignore: the role of social media algorithms. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram rely heavily on recommendation systems that decide which content users see. These algorithms analyze engagement signals such as comments, shares, watch time, and reactions. When a video creates strong emotional reactions, the algorithm assumes the content is interesting and begins promoting it to more viewers. This system unintentionally benefits controversial creators. Content that sparks debates about gender roles, relationships, or masculinity often generates thousands of comments within minutes. Supporters defend the influencer, critics argue against the message, and the discussion grows rapidly. But regardless of the opinion, the algorithm sees only engagement. The more people react, the more the video spreads. This is why manosphere clips frequently go viral. Even critics who disagree with the message may share the content to criticize it, unintentionally increasing its reach. Over time, this algorithm-driven attention helped transform the manosphere from a niche internet subculture into a global online phenomenon. Another surprising discovery in the documentary is how quickly the manosphere expanded beyond the United States. Originally, many of the most influential creators were American YouTubers and podcast hosts. However, the movement quickly spread to Europe, Asia, and other regions through translated clips and international audiences. Short video platforms made this expansion even faster. A single viral clip can now reach viewers in dozens of countries within hours. Subtitles, translations, and reaction videos allow the message to cross language barriers. As a result, the ideas promoted by manosphere influencers now influence discussions about masculinity and relationships across the world. Different cultures interpret the message in different ways, but the core themes remain similar: confidence, independence, financial success, and male identity. This global spread demonstrates how powerful internet culture has become in shaping social conversations. By the later stages of the documentary, Louis Theroux begins considering what the future of movements like the manosphere might look like. The internet is constantly evolving. New platforms appear, audiences change, and cultural debates shift over time. However, the success of manosphere influencers reveals an important pattern about modern media. In today's digital world, attention is the most valuable currency. Creators who understand how to capture attention can build massive audiences very quickly. Controversial topics, emotional debates, and strong personalities often attract the most engagement. This means that movements built around powerful online personalities may continue appearing in different forms. The names and themes may change, but the basic system of viral attention will likely remain. In the final analysis, the documentary Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere, raises a deeper question about modern society. Why are so many young people turning to internet personalities for guidance about life? For previous generations, advice about relationships, careers, and identity often came from family members, teachers, or community leaders. Today, millions of people look to influencers instead. These creators speak directly to audiences through podcasts, live streams, and social media posts. They feel more personal and relatable than traditional institutions. But this shift also creates new challenges. Influencers are not always experts, and their advice may sometimes prioritize entertainment or profit over accuracy. Louis Theroux's documentary encourages viewers to think critically about the content they consume online. The internet has created incredible opportunities for communication and education, but it has also created an environment where powerful personalities can shape public conversations very quickly. Understanding how these systems work may be the first step toward navigating the complex world of digital influence in the modern era. As Louis Theroux continues examining the manosphere, he begins to realize that the movement's explosive growth cannot be explained only by the influencers themselves. Another powerful force is working behind the scenes: the algorithms of social media platforms. Modern platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram are designed to maximize engagement. Their systems analyze user behavior in real time, measuring watch time, comments, likes, shares, and reactions. When a piece of content receives strong engagement, the platform assumes that the content is interesting and begins recommending it to more viewers. This is where the manosphere gained a major advantage. Discussions about relationships, masculinity, and gender roles naturally create strong reactions. These topics are deeply personal and emotional for many people. When influencers discuss them in controversial ways, viewers quickly respond with intense opinions. Some viewers agree strongly with the message. Others completely reject it. But both reactions create engagement. And engagement is exactly what social media algorithms reward. Theroux observes that many influencers in the manosphere understand this system very well. Their podcasts and videos are often structured to produce moments that can easily go viral. Long discussions may last for several hours, but creators later extract short clips containing the most dramatic or controversial moments. These clips are then posted across multiple platforms where they spread rapidly. A single 30-second clip can sometimes reach millions of viewers within a day. Even when critics share these clips to criticize them, the attention still benefits the original creator. Every reaction increases the visibility of the content. This algorithm-driven cycle has helped the manosphere grow far beyond its original niche communities. Another surprising discovery in the documentary is how quickly the manosphere expanded internationally. While many of the most famous influencers began in the United States, their content quickly crossed national boundaries through the internet. Short video clips, translated subtitles, and reaction channels allowed their messages to reach audiences across Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America. Within a few years, discussions about the manosphere were taking place in multiple languages and cultures. Theroux observes that viewers in different countries interpret the ideas differently. cultural traditions, social norms, and economic conditions influence how audiences respond to the content. In some regions, viewers see manosphere advice primarily as motivation for self-improvement. In others, the debates about gender roles become more politically controversial. Despite these differences, the central themes remain consistent. Influencers emphasize personal discipline, financial independence, physical fitness, and confidence. They often argue that modern society has created confusion about traditional roles and expectations. These messages resonate with many viewers who feel uncertain about the future. Globalization and rapid technological change have transformed the way people work, date, and build relationships. For some young men, the manosphere appears to offer clear guidance in a world that feels increasingly complicated. By the end of the documentary, Louis Theroux does not attempt to present a simple judgment about the manosphere. Instead, he presents the movement as a reflection of deeper social changes happening in the modern world. Technology has transformed communication. Social media has given individuals the power to reach millions of people instantly. And many young people now look to online personalities rather than traditional institutions for guidance. The manosphere represents one example of how this new digital culture operates. Influencers combine entertainment, personal branding, and social commentary to create powerful online communities. These communities can provide motivation and support for some viewers. At the same time, they can also amplify conflict, controversy, and division. Theroux's investigation suggests that understanding the manosphere requires looking beyond the influencers themselves. It requires understanding the systems that make their success possible. Social media algorithms, the modern creator economy, and the global attention economy, where views and engagement translate directly into influence and income. Ultimately, the documentary encourages viewers to think critically about the content they consume online. The internet has created an environment where ideas spread faster than ever before. This speed can inspire positive change, but it can also magnify extreme opinions and misunderstandings. By entering the world of the manosphere and speaking directly with its most influential personalities, Louis Theroux offers audiences a rare opportunity to observe how digital culture is shaping modern conversations about identity, relationships, and power. And in doing so, he reveals something much larger than a single online movement. He reveals how the internet itself has transformed the way people understand the world around them.